Danny Arie. Hey, man. Test, 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 test. Okay, I heard some audio. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be honest, I almost forgot the stream today. I actually just started a track, and I was like, oh man, this is a nice track. I should have started this on stream. Maybe next... And I was like, today's Sunday. Ah! What's up, Taijane Tavares? Sounds kind of Argentinian, Brazilian. Hi. Hello. Sounds good. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that I'm glad to hear that sounds good. Yeah, I can still speak English. Okay. This project is 070424, just so I can access it later. What's up, Anthony? Nice to see you. Guys, I'm going to be honest, like I usually start live streaming way earlier, like 2 to 3 hours earlier, but I just completely forgot today because today was a really busy day. Like I visited my mom at rehab. For those of you who don't know, she had a stroke recently, and I went to visit her today, and my mind was fully invested in that. But I'm home now, and I spent some time watching some Joe Rogan podcasts while also sorting out my plugin library. Like for some reason, when you install the universal audio plugins that come with the interface, like some of them are installed by default, it automatically installs all of them, but not all of them are licensed, you know? Wait, let me just switch to my DAW here. Yeah. Like if you install universal audio plugins, you'll see every single plugin, but you can't use the ones that you don't have purchased. So I had to manually go through the entire plugin library and delete them out. So that was what I did today, basically. Yeah, I guess we'll just start with a new project, just so you know which one I just had opened up. This is a jam. I'm aiming to go for something in this direction today. Kind of a chill organic house vibe, right? I'm currently working on a new pack called Sinai. It's inspired by the peninsula of Sinai, which is in Egypt, part of Egypt. And I got most of the sounds done. Most of the drum sounds, rhythmic textures, percussion loops, kicks, claps, and all that kind of stuff. Been working on this for a couple months. It's been postponed because of the personal issues. Not issues, but occasions. Hi, Nirmal. Nice to see you. And I got the synth stuff. Most of it's ready too. I just want to put in a couple more melodic phrases. For those of you who want to see the artwork, this is what it looks like. Let me just run this in the background. So this is what the artwork currently looks like. I'm really happy with it. Oh, I think my screen here isn't working quite properly. What the heck? Give me a second, guys. My second monitor is kind of glitching right now. One sec. In the meantime, you can watch the the artwork. Yeah, for those of you who are using Mac, I don't recommend using like this Apple CarPlay or whatever software for like the iPad, a second monitor. Just put on a second monitor because it's freaking stupid. Like connect it with cable. Doing wireless stuff is just so annoying. Yeah, but it should be working now. Hello, Mohammed. Yeah, it's more of a minimal pack. Minimal organic, has a slight touch of raw minimal as well. And my plan for today's live stream is to put together a chill organic house track in the name of the upcoming Sinai sound pack. So let me actually start this new project that I previously had opened up, which is this one. Go into full screen and let's start actually jamming. So I'm going to start with the kick. I'm going to use the same one that I just had opened from the project that I just had open, I mean. And it was this one, Raw Minimalist. Create a MIDI clip, fourth, because the kick is placed on every fourth. C3 is the original pitch. Command L to loop that. Drag the MIDI clip. That's the quickest way to start with the kick, for me at least. Or using a kick loop. But I feel like I have a bit more control over the kick while using it as a one shot, because you get ADSR, one shot here, and you also get the sample swap, which is kind of cool here in this little panel. So what else can we do? Hats. Just in time, hi. What's up, Slems? Got people with really interesting names in the chat always. Is that like a, where's that name from? Oh, it's Siems, or? It's like such a German thing to do, by the way, add or at the end of the sentence. Because in Germany, when we ask a question, it's like, du hast das gemacht, oder? It's like, or? That is kind of went into my brain. It is this, or? Let's put in a nice little hi-hat. I'm gonna, yeah, let's see. Jesus Christ, mate. Fucking A. All right. So how can we make the hi-hat a bit more interesting? Let's not just place it on every eighth note. That would be like techno, right? Sounds too edgy. You want to round it a bit. Give it a bit of life, yeah? So we can place it off the grid slightly. Oh yeah, let me switch to the darker theme. I'm actually a fan of the lighter theme. I don't know why. My eyes don't like using the same theme all the time. But I think it's far more pleasant. Greetings from Netherlands. Okay, Netherlands, cool. DJ Yoto UK. Wait, is that Yoto? Like Yoto? The Anjuna Deep Yoto? Or cheers, man. Yoto. Is Yoto from UK? I think so. Your kick missing a bit of punch, I think. Yeah, it's a minimal kick. I have a lot of different kicks in the pack. This one's like really transient. I also named them accordingly. The minimal kicks, the row minimal kicks, they don't have a lot of punch. They're like really focused on the mid-range to sub-range frequency. Whereas look at the 808, classic 808 stuff has a bit more transient inside. See? Whereas the minimal kicks focus less on the transient, more on the actual body. And I feel like it really impacts the track and the style. Yoto is Scandinavian, I think. Okay, gotcha. You copying him? I wish just Otto. Ah, okay, DJ Otto. Oh, I read DJ Yoto. Otto. Gotcha. DJ spelled Raga. Rasklat. Rastafari. Okay, so we have a hi-hat that's a bit off. Now let's randomize the velocities. Add a bit of deviation so we don't always get the same velocities, a bit of humanization, but we want to add it downwards, right? So it's played softer every now and then. We could also play it harder. So you see this panel down here, deviation. I don't know if this is new in Live 12 or it's been there in Live 11 too. That means like every hi-hat has the chance to always, or to be played at a lower velocity. It's like probability or something like that. Yeah. Hallo Lotus, sind Sie Deutsch? Ja. I was born in the US, but I've been living in Germany for quite some time. I set the wrong loop length. Make sure it's always on the end point of 1 bar. There we go. Hello everyone, I was thinking it might be beneficial for us to request a review of our work from Lotus Tunes Academy and gather some feedback. What are your thoughts on this idea? Who's in favor? What do you mean? I was thinking it might be beneficial for us to request a review of our work. Oh, do you mean like a feedback stream? Yeah, sure. Like I'd be down for feedback streams. I have no idea how to start them. A lot of people like Bound to Divide, they do it via their Discord channel, submissions and stuff like that. My neighbor, yeah. Right next to Netherlands. Germany. Let me just quickly readjust my microphone here. I love minimal kicks. I love them so much, you know. They give your track a far more organic feel. Like I'm not a fan of those clubby transient kicks. At least I'm in more of a softer phase regarding kicks. Like the TR8 soft kick has a bit of transient actually. If we hot swap it, also nice. This one's also good. 808. Love the 808 kicks. Yeah, you can already tell like into what direction this track is headed just by kicking a hi-hat. Yeah, I think this organic minimalist kick is the same one like raw minimalist, but with a different transient, has a slightly different body, or transient body relation. This one feels a bit lower. Yeah, we can just add onto this hat, so we can just Command G, open up this panel and add layers. Let's see if we can just like the soft kicks too, yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions to the comment that Mohammed previously posted about the feedback streams, I would be definitely willing to do that via the stream. I get a lot of requests via Instagram for feedback, like SoundCloud links. And for me, it would be also more efficient to find some kind of a way to bundle that, because I don't offer feedback as a particular service. I don't want to monetize that. Like for me, it's just, I don't know, I just share it like that. I don't always respond right away to every direct message. So I think live streams would be a great way to do that. I'll think of a system, but I think Discord sounds good. Like a nice place to just get a community and share stuff. Yeah. Let's decrease the velocity on one of these hats. Okay. For claps, we're going to keep it on the grid. Let's mess around with the sound. Also do the same, just group it, see if we can kind of like the reverb. Nice little rim clap going on. Now, see if we can add like an organic clap layer that has a different clap on every hit. And the final part to the groove. It's actually really quiet for me. I don't know if it's absolutely Discord channel. I'm terrible. Okay, what do we got here? I am terrible at mixing and mastering. My soft kicks disappear. Probably because all your other elements are just too loud. Dude, mixing for me personally is about like having a default EQ on your channel, low cut the elements that need a low cut, and just setting the volumes right. You can get so much out of that. People overcomplicate it with all these plugins and stuff like that. Just leveling. Mixing is leveling. For me, a major part of mixing is leveling. A catchy melody for this chill out tune would be nice. Maybe you should find a melody chord. Yeah. Das machen wir gleich, Armin. Armin _ Germany. Alles mit der Zeit, mein Lieber. One after the other, please. Let's enjoy the groove a bit, you know? I feel like, you know, the groove is something that just takes a level of relaxation and time. It's not something that just, okay, the groove's done, melody right now. Like for me personally, I used to be like that back in the day. Like the groove was like, I got a kick, now I'm jumping to the melody. But woo, take your time, son of a gun. For some reason, I'm not able to find my contact VST. That's odd. What happened? Guys, let me know if I'm live right now. I have no idea what's going on. The frick. Groove too hot. Yeah, drop it in the comments below if you can see me again or no. No, you say. Back. Yes, you are live. Okay. Yeah, guys, I don't know. For some reason, I never had this before, this issue. I loaded Contact and my PC crashed. The groove was too hot. Yeah. Let me just double check, see if everything's running stable. Yes, you are back. Glad to know, like, I learned something new. I know that it's able to restore your live stream when it crashes this way. So YouTube doesn't automatically end the stream. That's good to know. So let's get back to the groove that has crashed our stream. Hey, and we back. Now I'm skeptical if I should. Yes, I did save. I always hit Command S, like that's my default button. Audio muscle, it was definitely that sexy kick. Yeah, kick was too hard for the live stream. It was too sexy and soft. Oh, I mean, yeah. What do you think about music production on iPad? Any tips? Any good app you recommend? I've never tried it before, to be honest. I've spent some time in GarageBand, just getting in touch with that. It's really fun, actually. It's a different workflow, but I'm not too much of a fan, to be honest. Okay, I'm not going to load Contact because I don't want it to crash again. I'm just going to take one shaker groove from the pack. I would otherwise just use a VST called Shimmer Shake and Strike 2. Now it gives you these kinds of shaker grooves. Yeah, iPad, I don't know. No direct recommendation here, to be honest. So for pads, one of my favorite ways to transition into a melody or something melodic is to start with a floor sound, which is a pad. could do something like this and just go like this. Yeah. Trying to find like a nice rhythm. A rice rhythm. This is like a chord pad. We could replicate it. I have a couple of Wavetable presets in the Sinai pack as well. Because I did get a couple of requests for Wavetable sounds, and these ones are quite nice. Lush padscape or something like this. We could just create something like that on our own, right? This is E minor chord. Okay, so I could just record that. That's it, that's all I need. Set this as 1.1 here. Zoom in, zoom out. Never mind. Zoom in, zoom out. There we go. Command U to quantize it to the grid. Zoom in, zoom out. The reason I zoom in, zoom out is to avoid the space before the MIDI starts. Legato. This. Maybe we can actually Command J this entire sequence like this. Legato. 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 And then we can freeze and flatten it because we want to work with audio. Select a snippet like this, and that's basically the same. Yeah. I have seen people working with an iPad, but never with software, always with a Groovebox or something. This sounds great. Thank you, Amin. Yeah, I know there's a couple of apps, like the Moog Mariana, I think. They've released some kind of specific version for iPad. That's supposed to integrate well with your DAW. I have no idea. Logic Pro X. Yeah, Apple's very, very keen on keeping stuff in their own ecosystem. And then we could add something like Beam, which is overhyped. Not really necessary, but looks visually very cool. I like it for just the presets. Or adding pad movement, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't really care about the visuals. Here, track it onto the EQ. Slow it down, son. And I still need to export a couple of drum percussion one-shots, but I'm gonna take some from a different pack in the meantime. Or instead of doing it that way, I could also try to go for a tom groove. So what key is this in? Do 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 do. It's A. Yes, A minor. Something I've been enjoying to do recently instead of using top loops is create an audio track. Create audio track. Look, you find a top loop that suits your groove somewhat. Doesn't need to be perfect, right? Just, for example, like a minimal groove here, chuck it in there and make it quiet. Might as well just loop this section here. The envelopes, click on a parameter like pitch, and then you can just hit B, draw in some stuff. There we go. And then select a spot like this. Or if that's too monotonous, take 2 bars or 2 sections. Put it on beats, forward transient, dial down. You can also automate this guy here, and that's new. Create like a sequence here with, so it starts loose at the beginning, goes snappy towards the end. It's kind of laggy. I can sense that my PC is not too keen on running OBS and all these kinds of stuff at the same time. So let me just try to see if I can. Well, it's already at 256. Should be okay actually. Vibe is dope. Thank you so much. See the phrasing that it gives me? Tick tick tack tick tack tack tick tick tack 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 tick. It's a nice little phrasing in there. Minimal house is very loop based. You can hear that the pads wood. It's running in a very short loop. Same goes for the percussion. And these kind of loops, very loop based. Loop based in the sense that you don't have loops with a lot of variety going over, let's say like 4 bars. It's more of like a 1 bar or half a bar loop of the same sound progressing over a longer period of time. It's a very monotonous loop, but the movement is what gives it the vibe and the variety, right? Yak delay is something that I've been a very, very large fan of. I used to use Valhalla delay previously. So just, I like the Safari stuff, the Safari pedals. Very great for textures, this thing here. Repeats is basically just like a feedback knob here. So if I just, example, this gives me very nice little texture that sits below the groove, right? Do you hear that? This stuff here. Blend that down, quiet down the sample. Stuff that you don't even realize, but it just, if I blend it out, it's you're like, oh, dude, where is it? If I put it back in, it's like, ooh, fills out the floor of the track, you know? Can mess around with the time. Right now it's 326. Different feeling, right? 86 milliseconds. Sounds like a waterfall, yeah. 492 milliseconds, completely different vibe. Yeah, and it's attention to small little details like that which make the final dish tasty, you know? It's the attention to the small freaking details. I can't emphasize this enough. And this is very profound in this particular genre because it's very monotonous. Monotonous in the sense that you have a kick, hi-hat, clap that's always playing the same 4 to the floor, oots, ats, oots, ats. That's why you will need to take a lot of control over the minute changes, the details. I feel at most connected with life with this particular genre because I feel like we often in life lose touch of details. Us being present and in the moment to realize, wow, I can feel my feet. Wow, I'm actually enjoying this food. Wow, it's so tasty. While I'm preparing food, I actually pay attention to how I'm slicing the food, you know? It's the attention to detail that oftentimes is taken for granted and overlooked. And I feel like this genre of music that I am producing right now is the genre that it gives me more of that fulfilling feeling because I feel like I'm paying or I am able to pay more attention to details. That's different for everyone, right? For example, I used to produce bass house and dubstep way back. Like I was really in this kind of ego phase of, yeah, I love this harsh sound, you know? And I feel like in that particular genre or in those particular genres, it's more about aggressive edits. Very, like a lot is also about resampling and just this very destructive workflow. I feel like that's the main essence of bass house, dubstep, converting stuff to audio, putting 5 OTTs, putting this really weird sample granulizer, resampling that. I feel like that's the essence of dubstep and bass house, for example. Beautiful workflow, but just not the one that I feel like I could settle into. Right? This one is just, it relaxes my soul. And I believe many of you who are into this genre are into it for the exact same reason. There's some kind of a pull. Like, do you feel some kind of energy? It's like, you feel something, right? You feel something. Go with that. Go with that. Enjoy it. Fall deep into this genre. Because, boy, it'll direct you into some beautiful areas. Gute Nacht, schlaf schön. Minimal house is like fine dining. Yeah, it's a nice way to compare it for sure. I feel a bass groove or something like that, you know? Kind of a tom. So we're on the key of A. Let's put in some long. So this is B. We need to pitch it down 1 for it to match our key, sure. Let's go for a couple of short ones. This is a new type of structure. I sorted the tom one shots into long and short. Maybe that might be of value to some of you. I always try out different folder structures for each of the packs that I release. For example, hats, I have them categorized into soft and transient. Transient are more of like the offbeat type hats. Soft are the hi-hats that you can use on every 8th note. But that's very different. I think here I actually use the transient hat, yeah? So it works either way. So let's go for this drum rack that I've created here. See if we can get some kind of a tom groove going. Let's see. It's gonna loop up in a second, so let's place on 8th notes right now, yeah. So this last one, accidentally had an EQ by default. I'm gonna put the EQ on this tom only. Take out the high end. Yeah, there we go. Or maybe bandpass it. kind of nice. But no, let's not loop it. Let's duplicate the sequence and leave it out at the end here. Oops. There we go. Yeah. Pads. These two pad layers are what make it so chill. Without it, this could be directed into any genre. Right now it becomes like these dub chords, or this is an E minor chord. These pads that you hear are basically just an E minor chord, 3 notes, E minor. So it's kind of like a dub E chord, very often used in the minimal and chill area of house. Organic house, like the All Day I Dream type vibe, uses less of these types of chord progressions that are loop based and is more based on progressions, chord progressions. Like you get an E minor and then an A major, C minor, whatever. Yeah, I don't feel like we need anything else. I feel like most of the track is, like the foundation of the track is established here. I could start arranging it from now, but honestly, I feel like putting in some kind of a melody. So let's select the global key to be A. We're in the key, like we've utilized E minor as our foundation, as our starting point. But what I'd like to do every now and then is also select different keys, like Dorian sharp 4, see if that works well with the existing notes that I'm using. Just to get an idea into what direction I want to head into, I could also go through these melodic phrases that serve that purpose, right? I just preview them and they're always tempo locked, which is kind of a good thing. Give me an idea of what direction I want to be going melodically. Maybe I want a sequence. Okay, this sounds very similar to what we have going. I like this. I want to make sure not to stuff my track melodically though, yeah. Because this is a very muddy sound here in and of itself. Here, this frequency range. Is this, no, it's not possible to buy this Sinai packet. I'm still working on it. Because of some private occasions, I'm gonna have to postpone the release. Yeah, I think you guys already know why. I originally planned on releasing it with a template and a course, but I'm gonna put the course to the side. I'm gonna do it sometime later because I'm still, like, it's a bit of managing. It's not just the sounds itself. For me personally, a production suite, especially of this magnitude, this guy here, I would like to work with other musicians to incorporate the oriental human essence of Egypt, Sinai. For me personally, I'm not going to feel satisfied if I release the pack with just drum sounds, melody sounds, and maybe just one or two oriental elements or oriental sounding sounds. For me, like, I want to have a bit of that human essence to it. So people and musicians actually playing oud, ney, or in this case, I've already worked with somebody who can sing in Arabic, but I'm still processing processing all the stuff, making sure they fit with each other, because a pack for me has to be cohesive. That's one of the most important things in a pack for me, is that the sounds fit to each other, right? You can use the kick with the hi-hats with the claps, and the vocals. So I do end up deleting a lot of sounds, and that costs an extra week or two. So yeah, there's work definitely goes into these packs, but that's why I enjoy doing it so much, because it's actually a process. Yeah. Yeah, perhaps I could show you some of the vocals, but they're very raw. I have them in my collabs folder. It's not part of the pack yet. So just dry vocals, no processing whatsoever. I don't even know what key this is in. This is E minor. Okay, so it's not gonna fit, yeah. Most of it's E minor. Actually somewhat fits. Yeah, it's in E minor, so not directly A minor, well, the key that we have now. But if I were to create a return channel here, gosh. Yeah, I also need to warp some of the sounds. So I could also just band it here. What do you create the box artwork? I do a combination of different stuff. Some, like for the Afro pack artwork, for example, I think it was an image off of Pexels that I used, and I applied some shading. Sometimes I use Chat GPT or Dolly 4 to come up with ideas, and then I kind of resynthesize the stuff. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like using AI or artwork. It's good to generate an idea. Armin says nice transhypnotic vocals. Yeah, for sure. Moin moin aus Wien. Hallo ONR. Yeah, I feel like artists deserve to be paid for artworks and stuff like that, you know? And you also get more of like a consistent design. Whereas with AI, I feel like it just spits out always different results. Like even with Dolly 4, you can input an image and say, please make it look like this, and it'll give you different results and all, but it never actually really looks like it, you know? I don't know. For me personally, it's good to generate ideas so you know into which direction you need to take it into, but I wouldn't take it as like the final resort. At least that's my plan for the future, to have somebody who actually creates these artworks. I don't know if you guys know Homaidas Records. Their artworks, for example, look at them. Very consistent design, right? Always has this particular like sketch, black and white, very minimalistic but detailed. That's what I love. This is something, for example, that AI just cannot, in my opinion, replicate. There's always a level of humanity in it. Human essence. Yeah. Also, I just don't support the whole capitalism bullshit with fucking AI. It's just going to this very commercial direction. I realized that with my YouTube videos, like if I put AI in the title, it gets like 10 times more views. But the people who end up watching are like, they always want AI only. And for me, it's, I don't know. I feel so much fear behind AI. I feel the fear of missing out. A lot of businesses needing to keep up with AI and adapting their business to this whole concept to keep up with the market. But that fear just ends up feeding this whole idea of capitalism. Capitalism is, without going too deep into the politics and all, for me personally, a great system if you have absolutely, like if you're completely poor, let's say financially, you have no money whatsoever, but you have a great idea and you know how to provide that as value to the market. For example, I'm doing it through YouTube with these YouTube videos and live streams. Sharing my music production knowledge that I've obtained during the years, throughout my study. That's what I give as value to the market, and I'm rewarded financially, right? That's capitalism. The more value you provide, the greater problem you solve, or if you solve a, let's say, small problem for a vast variety of people, capitalism will reward you. However, it doesn't end. Like, capitalism will freaking juice you until you are burnt out, and it will not care if you are burnt out. I've experienced this with my YouTube channel when one of my videos hit 200,000 views. For me, I was like, holy crap, there is opportunity behind this. If I can do it with this simple idea, I can do it again. So I started posting more regularly, more frequently. And YouTube was like, we got this guy. We got him on the hook. And it became kind of like this, I don't know, I started to fear missing out. I started to post out of necessity rather than out of actual joy. And I feel like this is a trap that a lot of businessmen or business people and creatives fall into, especially in our today's society where everything is so based around capitalism and algorithms and wow. So I really try not to support it. And that's something that I want to pay more attention to as of now. Just not supporting this fear-based mentality of now I need to make a video on AI because this video will blow up. You know, don't want to support that whole ideology or thought. What I miss with AI is the rawness and the drama and emotions of a real Arab singer. Yeah, true. Like when people start hyping about AI in conversation with me, I just at some point I tune out. I don't know why. It's just like I try to say, but AI is not so good, you know, it's not so healthy for the artist and the artist economy, you know, how it suppresses the artist. They don't really fully understand. I don't know. Yeah, I have a couple of friends that work in that particular industry, and you do realize that they have a completely different approach. Yeah. Their mentality is different. I don't know. What do I want to add now? I already have Diva loaded here. Let's lock it to a do. That's Dorian sharp 4, doesn't fit so well. Stick with minor then. Yeah, let's go for like another sub bass layer. What I sometimes do is just hit record and play stuff. Play some kind of rhythmic sequence. Duplicate, and let's go for a melody now. Let's chuck it into A. Put an LFO tool here because I'm too lazy to sidechain it now. Same for pads. 44 is okay. Sub bass melody is amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Let's go for Synthesia presets. Envelope 2 thing on this preset, I love it. Nice, I like that. Did I capture it? Yes, I did. Like it. Freeze and flatten. Go, next layer. Great variation. What I sometimes like doing, Kritos, this thing is underrated AF. It's used as a timing sensitive MIDI looper for performing live, but you can actually record CC values with it as well and get some really nice phrasing. So I'm going into the CC menu here, map this to this MIDI, like a knob on my MIDI controller. Close it. Now I can control it using this knob on my MIDI controller. And since I have CC enabled on this Freemax for Live device, I'm also going to quantize it a bit more. You can see once I record, or just hit play, hit play, it's automatically recording. Now if I play some kind of a melody and move the cutoff, see, I'm not pressing anything now, but it's recorded that as a 1-bar loop. You can also extend it to 2 bars, hit clear. Look, mom, no hands. For me personally, this is very powerful. You can also map the clear. Hit Command K, click clear, map it to some kind of button on your keyboard that you rarely use. You see, you just clear anytime. For me, that's very powerful. So I have can play random notes, can automate the cutoff, which gives me different phrases, and it's recording 2 bars, and I can clear with this button on my keyboard. Less quantization maybe. Love it. Add some swing. I love it so much, you have no idea. Let's create a new MIDI track. Take the MIDI from track 9, record arm, hit play, let it run through. See, it's an arpeggio. I'm gonna take the MIDI, put it here, disable the MIDI looper, and this is what I get. Same thing. And I believe it's also recorded the CC values in either MPE, no, it's envelopes, right? Diva, MIDI control, portamento time. For some reason, it has automated portamento time. I don't know why portamento time, but you can see this is the cutoff knob. See, when I open it up, moves. And if I would turn off our ARP, beautiful. Can also automate this guy here, so I could hit configure, click this, and automate it too. I could automate it directly in the MIDI track. So, a couple automation pulls. And now I can take the MIDI and chuck it somewhere else and create some variation. Perhaps in Live 12 you could use Recombine or something like this and just mirror. That's what I mean about spending time on details. The beauty of the track really comes from these little minute changes. Just gotta place it correctly. I don't know if it's placed correctly here. Yes? No. It's not placed correctly. This would be correct. Still learning Diva, so great tip. Yeah. I'm still learning Diva, dude. Such a vast synthesizer. All these VCOs and stuff. But it's a great synth to understand synthesis. I believe the best synthesizer to understand synthesis is Serum. Very, very helpful graphical interface. Diva takes it up a step. Like if you understand Serum, you will also understand Diva, but Diva takes it up a step because it's more based on these analog parameters, VCOs, and yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, it's a bit more next level. Thank you for the subscriber, Ron White, Ron Wire, Ron White, yeah. Let's hope that the stream doesn't crash. Should I load contact? Let's load up contact. Guys, if the stream crashes, I'll be back. Let's see what it does here. Okay. Okay, it didn't crash. Let's go for lures. Oh gosh, my heart is pounding each time this little loading symbol comes. I think I shouldn't load contact while I'm on stream. Oh. So anxiety goes through the roof when this loading symbol comes. Okay, why isn't the MIDI working though? Should be getting MIDI into this track, yeah. Oh, because we could all ins. Oops. Should be enough, right? Just 2 chords. One is A minor, I believe, and the second one G minor. Is it G minor? Yeah. Something like that. Correct loop. Let's make sure to set the right loop length here. That's very important. There we go. Now I can fiddle with the sound. And the contact, this specific library is pretty intense. A gentle soul we got. Oops, accidentally clicked. Air. Ooh, that's too much modulation. I like it, it's very textural. Okay, son. I'm just gonna freeze and flatten this. Just take the MIDI, put it somewhere else. Because it's just taking too much of the CPU. Whenever I hit Command S, it just loads endlessly, and I don't want that. So just freeze and flatten. This little panel is taking up so much space. get a quick little arrangement going. Auto filter. Instead of using autofilter, you can also do this. It's basically the same. I don't really care. Slower. Command-Shift-D. Delete. Give us some time. Too early. Give it some time. Less depth on the sidechain here in this section. Good. Let's see if these ear candy transitions that I've put into the pack work. Well, they're not really transitions. Let's see. Just like ear candy fills and stuff like that. I like that. I like that. More delay though. It's chucking an echo here. Too lazy to create a return channel. But I have to. Come on. Don't be lazy. Let's put it onto D. So instead of delay, we're going to chuck in an echo here. Take this away. And blend it back out. Oh, never mind. Blend it back in. Put it on higher feedback setting. Like this. Just send it in there. There we go, son. Let's chuck in a resonator. I'm really curious to see if this does anything. C E sex. Imagine instead of saying the word nice, you just say that. Imagine integrating that into public speech. Yeah, man, that was so sex, dude. Yeah, like, dude, what? Like a beautiful. I love it so much. Maybe we can create more of this stuff. Show in browser, sound similarity. Take a drum loop or some stuff. Let's create a fill here. Holy frick. This is like the dub expansion. Hmm? I know a nice guy that is a professional musician that lives also in Hamburg. He's very deep involved into oriental music. He knows many people who maybe could do the vocals for your Sinai pack. If interested, make a shout out and I send the contact here privately. A shout out? Shout out. Yeah. I respond to collaborations and stuff like that mostly via email. Contact at Lotus Tunes. So I think that's a great way to reach out to me. Not I think like that if you want to reach out or get connected, then via email, yeah. Gonna Command Shift D these two sections here, then the arrangement. And just put in a break wherever I feel like it's ready for a break. But in the meantime, you could fill out the spectrum with these little sounds here. Now it's time for ear candy, yeah? And you can have fun, you know? You've done the arrangement now, it's basically finished. Let's have some fun with a little bit of fun. Splice, Lotus Tunes. I guess we could just type in A minor here and see if we can find some nice little one shots. Like right now it's important to just know where your stuff is. Right, and this is why I also always say save the sounds that you like or create samples in a specific folder of your liking where you know you can access them. It's not important how it sounds like, it's not important how many times you've used it, it's important that you have the sound. You can still morph it into something completely different. What just brings us out of the flow is us having to search for samples too long. We want to stay in the emotion of the track, and therefore it's good to have availability. It's good to have the sounds sorted, knowing where your stuff is. Like, where's the sense in going through all these folders that I have here, looking for synth one-shots? Whereas I could just have them in a particular folder, know that I can access them anytime, done. And that's also my main mentality for creating the sound packs on Lotus Tunes. In essence, I'm creating packs for myself that I know I can access sounds in that particular folder that work for my style. And I encourage everybody to do that on their own as well. Export sounds that you like, or save sounds that you've used before that work into a particular folder and reuse it. Use some different effects like Resonator, some weird EQ, LFO type stuff. Yeah. If you're not feeling inspired to make music, then at least prepare for when you feel inspired. And this is something that Fred again also recommended. Like, if you're not feeling inspired, at least prepare so that you have the folder structure, the resources, the sounds, the samples, the files, the presets where they need to be. Or when you get like a bit of that spark of inspiration, that spark turns into a fire because you've already put everything into place where it needs to be, right? Wala bila. Sounds like these. Just put them in there, dude. Create tons of audio tracks. It doesn't even matter. And just put them in there. You have no idea how much that inspires you. And I will say this again. This genre that we are into, organic house, minimal house, it's about the frickin' details. It is the details that add the spice, that make the final dish. The small little ingredients. You can have a very monotonous, very straightforward, simple ass arrangement. But it's those tiny little sounds in between that really give it so much feeling, you know? Sounds like these textural, white noise, weird stuff. And I've combined that with the Resonator here, which is actually kind of a nice combo. Perhaps we could add this to another track here. Sorry for the loud noise. Which kind of turns it into this dub chord, which is cool. Rasta. And you know what? Since I just said Rasta, let's look for like a vocal. A reggae vocal. And I need to log in. Okay. No, not continue with Google. Jet it. Oh gosh, I'm sorry for the screen. This is so annoying. So, whoop. Music email. I don't know what's my password. I hope this is right. Is your master channel blank, or do you have any standard setup that you use or any output? Dude, I do not ever produce with anything on the master channel. No need. Why? Why add coloration before you have the vibe established? So Geo Israel has nice packs. Splice Originals make some cool stuff as well. Middle Eastern Essentials vocals, we could heart this. Okay, Middle Eastern Essentials. Let's see what we can get here. Let's sort by key. Key A. Do we have anything in A? This looks like A major, yeah? Okay, I don't know if it's gonna fit. So the reason it says A, it's because it's actually some kind of Arabic scale, Phrygian scale. It's not an A major. Gosh, it's so late, but the cars are so loud outside. Jeez. Yeah, that ending is very nice. Kind of weirdly warped, you see here. So let's just disable the warp. Hijaz, yeah, it's a Hijaz scale, yeah. Really, really Arabic sounding. And if I want to chuck it into the background, I just band it. And then set the range here. How do you spell reggae? Sure, why not? Take it. I like Splice because of the availability and the filtering. Excuse me for the ear explosion. Let's put it here. Yeah, these kinds of mini sounds, great to have. Take it, put it here.
Your love, your love, your love.
Since this is in C major, that's the relative major key of A minor. This is why the vocal fit harmonically. We are in A minor, but this is C major. This is why it's gonna fit well to the track. So let's put it here. Maybe we can extract some kind of a part of the vocal, not the whole entire thing.
Your love, your love, your love. It knows no end. You're consuming love, you're consuming.
Just that little part.
It knows no end. It knows no end. No end. No end. No end. No end.
Set the timing right.
No end. No end. No end. No end. No end. No, no end. No end. No end.
Okay. I'm just putting the sounds here randomly. You can always rearrange it later. I'm assuming I'll put the break somewhere here. And just take away the kick for 16 bars? No, 32 bars here. I found also that mixing through a mastering chain never works well for me. Sounds great while you mix, yeah, but it makes it impossible to gain stage and obtain proper levels. Others disagree though. No, I'm really not a fan of that, man. Especially if you're gonna send your stuff to a mastering engineer. Like, he'll ask you to take off everything on the mastering fader. Yeah. I highly recommend you don't put stuff on your mastering channel while mixing. Completely distorts your sound. Not distorts, but you know what I mean. Like, it completely morphs it into something else, flavors it. Even this guy's like, "Boh."
Listen. Yes. One time I spin up this bum buck like more you bad man. One time I spin up this.
I kind of like the effects here. This one, kind of nice. Yeah, and I just spend so much time with these little sounds, you know. They're so fun. You have no idea how much fun it is. These little sounds are what actually make the track flourish. So this is kind of like the impact of the break. Makes sense to automate, you know, another major part of arrangement. Maybe we can filter down the pads before they come back into the drop. The pads carry the energy throughout the track. So you gotta pay attention to the filter automation here. So now the placement of this guy matters. For the break.
What the fuck did he do? Yeah. Well, hear this now. I want everybody for this get lively now.
I said I need that wake.
I need you on the monk.
Bad man. One time I spin up.
Yeah. Candy. Pretty good argument, the vibe thing. How can I learn how to use Wavetable synth? Wavetable synth are so, I would say, not that complicated. I really like Serum is the best one, in my opinion, because it allows so much, like the tiny functions, you know. Otherwise, we have Wavetable inside of Ableton Live, which is great. So you have your, you can import your own sounds into Wavetable. Sidebrain, I think, has a nice video on how to do that. He did it with his own voice in one of his videos. Take any sound, really. But I like that. Oh, that was nice. I like that. I can chuck that out more throughout the track. Yeah, Wavetable, I highly recommend that you start using the basic shapes. It's just 2 oscillators, really not too complicated. You have like the presets in here, more than enough, especially for our genre. It only really utilizes basic shapes. Like these are analog waveforms, or waveforms that are often used in analog synths. Like you only have the basic shapes. You don't have some kind of weird, I don't know, this kind of stuff or this stuff on the Moog, for example. Basic shapes. So you got oscillator, 1 oscillator, just enabled that. Let's go for sine. Oscillator 2, enable that, go for saw. So now we have a mixture of sine and saw. You can also turn on sub oscillator. We want to work with the subby sound, or just add another harmonic. We can just stick with oscillator 1 and 2. And then you subtract from the sound by adding a filter, right? Which takes away high frequencies. And right now it's running in serial mode, which means that you'll have this filter applied to both oscillator 1 and 2. Whereas if you enable the second filter curve, I think you can set that here. Parallel. See, now it's controlling the second oscillator here. See, but in serial mode, it kind of morphs them into one filter. Parallel, you get two filters. See? This is oscillator 2, this is oscillator 1. And you can put it into split. Don't know. What particularly that does, but I like to use either parallel or serial. For the sake of simplicity, we can keep it on serial. Disable the second filter. Now we can apply an envelope. I like this track. So for amp envelope, envelope 2, can open up the matrix, envelope 2. Click on the filter frequency here, you can see it here, envelope 2, 100. Now you see once I click a note, it applies this curve, ADSR, to this particular frequency. You see, boop, it applies this curve. Now if I shape this curve, I get a really short and snappy filter movement. Well. And you can always go back to your oscillators, apply some kind of effects here. So warping kind of squelches. I think this is a pulse width modulation. You can also click warp here, go to matrix, and apply, for example, LFO1. Low frequency oscillations is basically slow movement. Slow movement to oscillator 1 warp. Mod sources, LFO1. Turn off retrigger so it doesn't always play it from the beginning once we click the note. See, now it just keeps that movement. Whereas if we are in retrigger, it triggers from the beginning. See? You can also see it in the waveform. Turn off retrigger. Decrease the amount. Movement over time, right? Yeah. And most of it actually comes from the modulation of the sounds, right? Oscillators, just keep it basic. You don't need some complicated stuff. Oscillator 2, we could go for FM fold. But I feel like that sounds too digital. Could also morph through the wavetable, matrix, and start morphing through the wavetable, for example, with LFO. Or you could use LFO2, which is quicker, right? Yeah, or maybe an envelope. So it just quickly jumps, you know? This is the effects panel where you can apply effects to the sound. CFM amount makes this saw wave turn into a square wave, which has different harmonics, sounds more loud and aggressive. You could apply LFO2, for example, to the FM amount of oscillator 2. Go into LFO2, make it rather gradual. Does that do anything? I don't know. think that's too low of an amount. Let's see if we can modulate the rate of LFO2 with envelope 1. LFO2 rate, modulate with envelope 2. Get some pitch modulation, even though there's no actual pitch modulation in the sound. It's just coming from the FM movement. Yeah, it's like paying attention to the mini changes to the sound. And then sending it to reverb delay, maybe changing envelope 2 settings. Good pitch oscillator to up 7 halftone steps, which makes it a perfect fifth, which is very usual for like this Stefan Botzin type sound, right? +5 is also harmonically in key. Detune the second oscillator for some weirdness. Yeah, but FM usually aggressifies the sound. Aggressify. Is that even a word, dude? See how much more aggressive the sound is? Yeah, I kind of like those. And that was all sound design, right? And you see it takes you into a different space, which is why I don't like to do sound design while I'm producing. Yeah, I like to save my presets and, again, access them later on. For me, when I make music, I want to stay in the emotion and the track and make progress to the track. You know, I showed you how to do this for the sake of the stream because somebody asked. But usually I do not hold myself up with these little tiny stuff when I'm making music. Like when I'm designing a pack or I deliberately want to practice what I've mentioned previously. If I want to practice, right, I'm not feeling inspired, but I want to practice my sound design. I want to get a couple presets finished. I want to put something into a folder so when I feel inspired, I can access them. Yeah. Man, inspiration in music, there's so much to it. Like sometimes, most of the time, at least for me in my current life situation, it's helping to take a step back from music to facilitate inspiration. And this is coming from somebody who's making music full time as a job, who has the whole financial pressure and whatever. But I don't see it as financial pressure, to be honest. Like as a musician, you have to learn how to access flow. And you're not always gonna feel like in this flow state. I would say I feel 10% of the time I'm in a flow state. Today I would say the flow state is definitely there, because I've spent all the last few days thinking about completely different stuff. You know, the situation with my mom has put me into a completely different mental state. So many more responsibilities outside of life, outside of music. And funnily enough, that actually inspires me more to make music for some weird way. I feel like my humanity is reawakened in a different form. And I actually feel more inspired to get back to music, because there's this vacuum, there's this space created between me and music, which kind of attracts abundance. And that's how flow is also kind of fueled. But if you have the time and you feel like you're really into music, you love this thing, but you're not feeling inspired, I'd say just practice, dude. Practice. Make your own synth patches. Make your own ear candy. Save it into a folder. Learn. Watch YouTube videos. Watch Lotus Tunes Academy. Get inspired. I missed out on so many comments, guys. Let me catch up real quick. Pretty good argument, the vibe thing. Bro, your genius has been using Ableton, like, I've been using Ableton like 5 years and still doesn't have don't know that re-trigger button until you said it. I'm glad to hear that has helped you. That's great. Instant self-created ear candy elements. Blissniuk says, hey Kevin, nice to see you again. Nice to see you too, Blissniuk. I hope you're still there. That comment was from a while ago. Chris Turnbuli, nice vocals. Just what I've been looking for. Awesome. Thank you so much, bro. You're welcome so much, bro. Chris Turnbuli says, how did you start making money with music? Was there a moment where you decided to jump in it? Yeah. I was working at a jewelry shop, selling jewelry. It was like barely above minimum wage. Some of you may ask, what the heck is this guy selling jewelry? He studied music. Well, after music, I realized that you have to like, people will not, how do I phrase this correctly? I studied music with the idea that once I'm done, I'll have a job, I have fixed income, I'll be, I'll have a nice paper which says this guy studied music, he will work in a studio, that's it. But during university, I was like, okay, I don't know, this whole like working in a studio thing is not really my area of expertise. I feel like I'm doing a lot of editing and it feels more like a office job. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to work in a studio. Maybe I might do something with live like in Hamburg we have, for example, the Barclaycard Arena, we have the Leishalle, we have the Elbphilharmonie. So I started helping out there as a stagehand. That was, again, minimum wage job, which involved me doing a lot of like night shifts, Reeperbahn Festival, just helped musicians prepare the technical stuff. And that was a bit cooler, but it was still minimum wage. And I'm like, I don't know, this is not really what I want to do because I want to make music somehow, but I don't know how to make music, like how to make money with my own music. How? And the idea for Lotus Tunes was actually sparked during university. It was around 2018 where I had the idea, but I never really followed up on it. And during university, I was also kind of a bit lazy, to be honest, to get connected with people and to start an idea and to put something into entrepreneurship. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was back then, man. But the idea, let me put in webcam mode here. The idea came when I realized, holy shit, dude, nobody's gonna mouth feed you anymore. You gotta find a way to do it yourself if you want to have the freedom in life, or else you're just gonna have to work for somebody else, stick to some kind of a schedule that is given to you. And personally, I knew for a fact that I did not want to work for somebody else for the rest of my life because I wanted to have my own freedom. And the idea of being satisfied with making music part-time and working a part-time job for the rest of my life wasn't appealing to me either. So I said, okay, frick, dude, like I studied audio engineering. I'm basically where I was beforehand, but I have a lot of knowledge. So I was like, okay, I have all this knowledge. I've spent so much time making music for myself. And I've been working all these jobs. Bombo clap. That I don't necessarily feel like working. So how can I build myself up? How can I do something myself? So first of all, I searched for a job near me, near my city, that would pay me to cover all of the expenses. This is step one. What expenses do I have? How can I minimize my lifestyle to the point? And again, I'm speaking from the perspective of somebody who wants to go full-time with music, okay? What minimizes your expenses? First of all, I'm living together with my mom. God bless her. God bless her soul. May she recover, please. God, please. But yeah, reduce your expenses. Move back into your parents' place. If you have a healthy relationship, somewhat healthy relationship with your parents, that's a great way to start. Figure out what are your main costs. Live frugally. Frugally means like don't do this all the time. Don't spend on unnecessary bullshit. Work a part-time job, and in that time, invest into yourself and learn about entrepreneurship, learn about social media, because social media is the way to go for creators and creatives nowadays. If you want to monetize yourself and go full-time as a musician nowadays, you have to master social media. And for me personally, I chose one platform, which is YouTube. And I speak about this so extensively because this is something that I feel inclined to share, because it's been one of my greatest struggles. I've gone through so many waves of ups and downs, depressive phases where I didn't feel any purpose in life. I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like, is this the sense of life? Like just not being able to do what you truly want to do. And I decided that this is what I want to do, man. And posting to YouTube at the beginning was like posting into this void of, you put so much effort into a YouTube video and it gets like 2 views. I think the first 3 to 4 months, my videos capped at 17 views. And that was like, whoo, man. Like that requires some, like you got to pull through that phase. That's the most difficult phase to pull through as a creator. But trusting in God, trusting in the process, knowing that I really love this so much, and I know that in time it'll work out. That's so important. I'm 26, because you asked, Blisnyuk. I resonate with you. Advice, thank you so much. I'm a bit like tired right now, which is why I can't properly articulate every word. So excuse me. I've also had a lot of stuff going on today. But I really try to pour in all my energy and passion when I speak about this. And I speak of it out of pure authenticity because I want people to realize that it's possible. It is absolutely possible to go full-time with music. And if you're somebody who feel like it's struggling, feel free to shoot me a message either via Instagram or email. I'm more than happy to help as soon as I can respond. Yeah, because this, for me personally, has been like, life-changing. Filter out the pads towards the outro. That's right. Pads carry the most energy. Yeah, I'm gonna make a transition to finishing this track because I feel like I've been speaking so much, dude. So in essence, I'm just going to recap. Make the decision, okay, how much money do I need to earn to cover my expenses? What are my expenses and can I reduce them now? What can I do to reduce them? Do I move back into my parents' place? Do I find a smaller apartment? Do I sell my car? I don't know. Maybe I eat less for a particular time. This is no medical advice, by the way, but just just saying, you know, what can I do to realistically reduce my cost of living so that you barely have to work and have enough time to also put time into music. And if you're, let's say, working some kind of a part-time job that you feel like is draining your energy, like you feel so empty after you come home, switch job, next job. I worked at a call center. I would feel fucking depressed when I came home, and I wondered, why am I not productive? I wasn't able to start this business even though I was working part-time at a call center, right? Because I felt energetically depleted from the job itself. So finding a job that you halfway feel in tune with is important, which is why for me, I chose selling jewelry because it had to do with aesthetics and beauty, which was a bit gay. I'm not gay, but the job was a bit gay. Dude, this job, man. I was the only guy in the entire company, I swear. Only females, dude, in this jewelry shop. The whole brand is represented by females and gay men. So for me, it was like, dude, oh shit. I gotta do it somehow, man. No homo, bro. Yeah, but I ended up being actually really happy with that job, dude. At least for a while long, until the coworkers were like getting on my nerves. But I made the switch. I made the switch to going full-time when my income from Lotus Tunes, my business, started to get close. So they were at equal level. I was making 850 euros a month from my job. And when I was making about 600 to 700 a month with Lotus Tunes, I took into consideration to quit. And when I was getting to 800 consistently for 3 months, so 3 months consecutively, I was making 800 euros a month, I made the switch. Because I decided, okay, I'm at the point where it's more worth to invest time into music production and the business than it's worth coming to this job, financially speaking. Yeah, and that's where the whole taxation thing came in. Like, how does taxes work? How does small business ownership work? And all this thing. Yeah, which was like a wave of information that hit me suddenly, and anxiety hit me again. Like the whole taxation, how does that work? But that's not something to worry about. Just find somebody who can help you out with the information, either tax consultant or an agency. If you're into that, into entrepreneurship, that's something that you will have to get into, especially if you're in Germany. But I'm not worried about paying taxes because that's how the country works, right? I'm happy to be free in doing what I'm doing. And that's the most important thing to me. Paying taxes, sure. Most idiots, assholes, they just fucking make money, go to Dubai. You know, I'm not that type of person. It's ego-based. Yeah, let's not drift into this topic though now. Do you need a degree in something music related? You said studied sound engineering, right? You don't need a degree. No. You do not need a degree. You have so much information nowadays, and degree is like... Our professor at the end of the ceremony, he said, I can't replicate his words entirely, but he said, into my words, he said, although this degree might not secure you a job, it is certainly part of the journey of a music producer. Like, you still learn something along the way, and it's contributed to your journey. And that's how I would see university, because it has contributed to my journey. Thank you for the subscriber. It has contributed to my journey in the sense that I could make music for 2.5 years without having to think about a job. Because I was a student, and in this time I could get connected with people that are like-minded, similar interests in mind. I have studio time, and I have all the time to spend on music. That's the most important thing of being able to study. But the knowledge, it's everywhere. You don't need a degree to obtain that knowledge. And I mentioned this before, people in my university on the workstations, I would see them watching YouTube videos. It's like, information is everywhere. You can learn it everywhere. You don't need a degree. You need a portfolio. A portfolio proves 1 million times more than a degree. And I don't know, guys, if you know this, but I have a site called zahandmusic.com, which I launched before lotustunes.com. Before I launched Lotus Tunes, I had this website. What does it do? It showcases all my work. My income stream is Lotus Tunes, and the main site is Lotus Tunes, of course, but my portfolio just proved to me that, or proved that this is an artist, this is a musician, here's his work. And I would say it's important to have stuff like this. You don't, like, if you're a designer, people want to see your work. And a lot of people, they use, let's say, what do you call it again? Oh, guys, I'm sorry, I accidentally forgot to switch my screen. So this is my portfolio website, zahandmusic.com. And yeah, it basically just serves as a way to sum up the work that I have done so far. And if you're a graphic designer, for example, and somebody wants your work, or you want to find work, then you would either have a personal website or an Instagram page that you can feature your artwork. Just have a portfolio of some sort, a way to showcase somebody your artwork or your designs or your music. For me personally, I realized that, dude, it's not gay, you are a sneaky hunter, lol. I'm a sneaky hunter, man. That's why I work the job. No. Just kidding. Seriously, I just searched for jobs near me, and I found that jewelry shop job. But back to the point, yeah, I decided, okay, I have this portfolio website, zahandmusic.com, and this was me before I started Lotus Tunes. Because I didn't know in which specific area I wanted to go into. I wanted to do freelance sound design work. I also wanted to do some kind of a sound pack. I was looking for different venues of monetization. And I believe because of my portfolio site, I was able to work with Production Music Live. They saw, okay, this guy has a YouTube channel, he has his own website where all of his tracks are listed, so we can just listen through his tracks and see which one we like. Now we are more, as a brand, we feel more secure when working with this particular person because we know he has work out there. He has put in time into developing his website, his page, and then brands will want to reach out to you. And in my personal experience, I say having a YouTube channel, doing stuff on your own is the best way to get people to work with you instead of constantly looking for contracts. I did not want to freelance sound design. I worked, I don't know if you guys know Alex Rome's Sound. He has a YouTube channel with over 450,000 subscribers. I've done sound packs for him. I've done sound packs for Production Music Live. Just to realize that I don't want to make sound packs for other people. I wanted to do it myself, so I launched Lotus Tunes. That was the point where I made that switch. But yeah. Oh gosh, I'm talking so much today. I feel like speaking just today. My mind has been so involved in so many different things. I feel like speaking about this today. So Chris Turnbuli, thank you so much for asking these in-depth questions. Kubik Small Official, hey everyone. You are a good person, thank you so much. And good things come to good people, yes sir. I like this organic house version of Giorgio by Moroder. Haha, I know that feeling. I was working in Zara for 2 years. Interesting. My sister loves to buy clothes from Zara. And when you really... Oh gosh, the comments keep jumping in. And when do you realize that making music... When do you realize that music was making your passion? During high school. When everybody was going partying, I was making music. I remember there was this party where everybody was invited except me, dude. I was so pissed. Like at the time, you know, teenager mind and all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, me, invite me. I got so mad that I was like, okay, how do I calm this madness? I'm just gonna make music. And that was the moment where I realized, holy shit, I am not mad. I am happy that I'm at home. I am happy that I get to sit home and make music. That was kind of the real moment that I realized, okay, this is the life that I'm looking forward to going. Like, I get more happiness from being by myself. I'm not ever by myself because I have God with me. I have my connection to God, which I value a lot, because I'm never alone. And I speak of this with full confidence, 100%. You're never really alone if you have a God. Yeah. What else do I have here? Really interesting. Can you share roughly what % of your income comes from various sources? YouTube sample packs. YouTube barely. Yeah, I shared this in one of my live streams where I showcased Audio Muscle. If you're interested in learning about my income and how much I make from Lotus Tunes or anybody, I did that in this particular live stream here. I'll show you the video. You see this live stream? I always wanted a plugin that does this, like Lucid Rhythms. Click on this, and I have a timestamp in there where I talk specifically about how much money I make with Lotus Tunes, YouTube, and I even go into my YouTube dashboard, so that might be interesting. So rather than repeating it this stream, you could just check out that, or anybody interested. But to sum it up, most of my money comes from sample packs. That's my main source of income. YouTube, I turn off ads, and if I turn on ads, I mostly turn on just the display ads, the ads that you can click away with a click of a button that don't interrupt the flow of the video. But that's different for every video. I decide individually. Really interesting. Can you share roughly what you make of that? Dude, it's not. Okay, let me catch up on these comments. This industry is about risk, 200% sacrifice. Yeah. Everybody says that being an entrepreneur is so risky. Dude, I believe working a full-time job is more risky because it's more secure to diversify your income streams, to not only rely on one stream of income than it is to have a job that could just run out of industry and say goodbye to you, you know. Oh my gosh, you're live. Apo Valsanen. I cannot pronounce your last name, excuse me. I have my first serious house project open on FL Studio and I came out to watch your mixing tutorial again. Thanks for the tutorial. Glad that helped me, man. And everything else. Haha, I had the same situation. I'm really lucky that I caught you live. Awesome, man. Your advice really resonates. Thanks so much for sharing your journey in depth like this. Yeah, thank you so much for the questions, Chris. They have sparked the inspiration. Yeah, but ultimately this track is chill. Maybe I'm gonna just copy it. Like if I'm lazy, I'll just copy the ear candy here and just paste it here, make sure that it still somewhat fits. Yeah, you know, these live streams are a great way for me to just speak out my soul. It's kind of like therapy for me, to be honest. So guys, just so you know, I'm currently working on the Sinai sound pack. Drums are finished, synths are mostly finished, bass sounds are definitely finished. Like the pack in its entirety, these samples. I cut it maybe just a bit here. Most of the samples are in there. and MIDI. I'm just working on getting some ethnic sounds like vocals and oud, nay, and that kind of stuff in there as well to really capture the oriental vibe. So we got 8 minutes of a track. If there's something that I would change is maybe add a few more white noise inducing ear candy sounds in this break section to make it more interesting. But that's basically it, man. It doesn't need to be complicated. In terms of arrangement, this isn't a very complicated arrangement in the sense that I've just left in all the drums, the top loops. If you want to make it more interesting, then you would perhaps take them out in certain sections. Maybe just go back to the kick, hi-hat, clap. Always different for every track, to be honest. Yeah. But that's that. I will keep you guys updated on the pack. I'm definitely going to be taking care of, the private situation with mom. And everything by now I think Yeah, I'm gonna stay optimistic for sure. Thank you guys for joining in on today's live stream. I think that's enough for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this live stream has given you some inspiration, some value. It has relaxed your mind, brought you into your heart a bit more. Because I really enjoyed it today. And if you're really into this type of sound that you're hearing right now, you guys know where to find me. zanmusic.com. And if you want the sounds yourself, you can grab them here. Now, if there's a pack that sounds similar to Sinai, I would say Tulum and Yerevan. Organic House Essentials has really nice shaker grooves. Or you could just get the every sound that I've released up until 2023, excluding this guy here, Organic House Essentials. So this and this is like everything. Yeah. Alright guys, this is the Sinai pack. Sounds were from this pack that I used today. I will keep you guys updated on its release. Thanks a lot. See you next time. See you, bro. Thanks a lot. Love your vibe. You're definitely an old soul. Thank you, man. Thanks for this very open-hearted live stream. I hope your mom will be well. Thank you, Seems. She will. Okay, guys. With that, I would like to end today's live stream. God bless you all. Have a nice Monday tomorrow. Have a nice start to the week, okay? I'll just leave a couple seconds of buffer before the stream ends, just so it doesn't suddenly cut off.